everybody. How are you? Good to see you guys. If you could give me a thumbs up on TikTok, let me know that you can hear me. All right, that would be super helpful. Welcome on Facebook. On YouTube, if you guys also do, if you could do the same, please give me a thumbs up. You can hear me and see me all right. That would be helpful. All right. And I know I was having some issues a minute ago, but if it sounds like I'm doing better, then we're not going to worry about it. All right. Virtual Nicole, good to see you guys. Hey, everybody on TikTok. I can see that feed moving. Always good to have you. Hope everyone is staying safe and warm. Let you start submitting your questions. So I don't see the info on the screen, but depending on where you guys are tuning in, there should be above or below description box explanation on what we're doing here. So this is Get a Love Life and Relationships. You can ask any kind of relationship questions. It doesn't have to be on love or being a couple or your soulmate or whatever it is. Be on a coworker, a boss, a family member, a past life connection to your kids. It doesn't matter what it is. Okay, so anything goes here. These are all relationship questions. This is a relationship show. So a lot of people have debate or confusion, maybe are unsure truth actually is. Sometimes when you're deep into a relationship, it can be really hard to see your way out of it. To, compartmentalize things accurately. So this ask, all right? So I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Airwalk. I'm going to be answering your question. For $5, you're getting a short answer. For $10, you're getting the longer. And you guys can get your, you can make your payments at, that is also above or below in the description, depending on where you're in. I believe we are using Venmo and we're using Cash App as well. Okay, so you can see right there. Now, if you're on YouTube, you could also just pay on YouTube. So wherever you guys are, if you just want to switch over at Ask Ivy, it might be easier there. So go ahead, submit your payment, and then post question. Don't forget, okay, Mary, my beautiful producer, don't make Mary change for your question. If you buy a reading early in the show and then submitted it, it's going to get flipped into the next show because I can't be here all night. Okay. Now, make a couple quick announcements while we let people tune in, and you could start submitting your relation questions. I am offering the gift of a free psychic mediumship reading to anyone who has a loved one in this horrible blizzard. I am aware that a lot of people are reaching out and saying, oh, but my electricity is off. Can I have a reading? Or somebody a little while back, and I'm going through hardship too. Can I have a reading? No. No. This time for those who are grieving in the worst way from the worst circumstances, and we don't want to be phone lines, okay, with those types of questions. So you can text at 716-248-896, and my assistant will get you set up with a free reading. You can get in touch with your loved one who passed during this blizzard. I think it's really important for us to be able to have that closure, but also, it's so important for you guys to understand that even though right now it's chaotic and unsettling, that your loved one is safe. They are with you. All right. So at least we've gotten to that place with it. So did lose a loved one in the storm. Please pass this on to them. Again, that's up here on the screen. You can text 716-882-96 to get a free reading with me if you lost a loved one in the storm. And I am so, so sorry. Very overwhelmed. Glad to see you guys here. Hope you're doing well and that you guys are safe. And been amazing to watch so many heartwarming stories about people coming together. That at least very uplifting to see. I do want to also announce that sales I've been running expire on January 1st. So 20% Psychic Academy, Psychic Mediumship Course is now 100%. Okay, so you can also get 20% off of that. Christina Del Rey's tarot, astrology class, everything. Meet your guides, relationships, boundary cutting, coffee with your angels, all the basics, everything 20% off. We also have 30% off Ivy's Healing Call Center. Now that one expires, I believe. So you're going to want to go ahead and take advantage of that. 7 days a week. You can kits, so it's buy now, use later for the call center. What else do we have going on? I'm offering holiday packages. So that's what I did this year. $25 to $200 packages where you get a nice combination of like an email reading, ability assessment, and a 30-minute, reading with me or whatever it is. Readings are available through video download. I have defeated finally gaps, the time zones, not being able to give readings to places of the world has always been a bit of a burden or a challenge over the years. And recently, I don't need you guys there for these readings anyway. So anyone who's ever had a reading, I don't let you talk anyhow, right? There's really no need for us to be face-to-face. We don't even over the phone. So I started these video readings and they've been amazing. So you guys get one of those at any time, anywhere in the world, and listen to it later. Okay, in the comfort of your okay. I think that's pretty much what I wanted to announce, other than I now have, because this show has been such a hit, I'm now offering love readings, couple readings. If you want to know about another relationship you're involved in, I can do readings for that as well. But in addition to those, past life readings. So if you go up on my website, you can see the different kind of love and relationship readings that and I don't know why I haven't done it for 13 years. I mean, they're, people seem, all right. So there you go. They're up there. So if we don't get to your question today, you can always, all right. We do have some questions coming. It looks like Mary, my beautiful producer, will be popping these up. If you guys haven't already done so, please submit your questions. $5 is a short answer. $10 gets you an answer. And you should include the name. The first name is a pseudonym if you want to do that, of anyone that you're referring to. And we are going to go ahead with question number 1 here. So we have, from a Michelle asking a $5 question. Michelle wants, so these are supposed to be about relationships. Okay, so this is about love. This is about worker. This is about some type of a dynamic between the two of you. This is not the Ivy show. I am still doing the Ask Ivy show bi-weekly. I am doing mediumship and I'm delivering out messages from your deceased loved ones. Okay, but that's what I'm doing here tonight. This is get a grip on your love life and relationships. However, I already submitted this and it is up here. So just as clear, Mary, which show we're producing tonight. This is Get a Grip. This is not okay. So we are going to take this, any messages from Lisa, but this is the only mediumship question I'm going to be doing tonight. You guys can join me for that or book a reading with me at a later time. With your sister, I feel like there's a lot of fun and banter between the two of you. I feel like she's trying to uplift your energy and get your attention. She may be doing this through, she said intervention. And I feel she's talking about with this is almost like sometimes you get a little overheated. Sometimes getting too serious, too focused, too wound up, caught up in a moment. I often feel that you're having some type of with someone else in the house and or someone you have to deal with on a regular basis. it may be that this person doesn't listen, or that you have to like repeat yourself, or find that you are getting tied up in a negative with this individual where you feel as though everything you say or do falls. So there's not a lot of progress there. Let's put it that way. Okay. So that relationship dynamic looks stagnant, and it can sometimes be toxic for you if you don't catch yourself. So if you're not catching yourself, and if you're not saying, no, 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 I'm going to pick my battles, waste my energy on this person, this situation, I'm going to detach myself, I'm going to let the chips fall where they may, and I'm going to make decisions accordingly after that. Setting boundaries, or walking away, or giving this person a list, sort of like a business contract, and saying, look, these are the areas of improvement that need to happen here, in order for me to continue with you, whatever it is. Your sister has a way of stepping in and taking your focus away from that obstacle and putting the focus on you, putting the focus back on yourself. She loves you very much, and she wants to see you happy. She doesn't want to see you wasting your energy on people and situations that really don't matter. Okay, so smile, chin up, eyes straight ahead, she says. All right, we have another in here. Again, these are love and relationship questions, any type of relationship question. All. We have one from a Shauna DC who got a 10 question. Do my math. Says, should I tell my incoming soulmate what I'm feeling, or should I wait to break the ice? I'm pretty sure we are having telepathic conversations. I think that there's a way for you to read being blatant about the conversation. I want to say this. This is a situation where you may have better recall, you may have greater memory about some of these telepathic interactions, some of these empathic exchanges, and some of the dreams are sharing either through astral travel, or you're spending real time together. And when that happens, it can be pretty awkward if you bring it and the other person is like, what? I don't get it, or that isn't something I connect with. Happen, whatever it is. I think that in this case, because you're tuned, it can seem as though these things are more obvious, to you when they're happening to both people. And the value that you put on something like this, an exchange, an energy exchange, is far greater than what this other individual does. So even though this person seems open to communicating about all this and is fairly like woke and in tuned, not to the extent that you are, and it may not be in the same areas or the same way that it is. And so I would approach with caution, not necessarily because of what he may think, or like, it's kind of like, who cares, because it could make you feel uncomfortable, and it could make you, if you don't get that information, it could make you withdraw. And I think it's an important, delicate time for both open right now and honest in the energy exchange, and just keep going. I think that if you were to say something you're comfortable with in the event that this person doesn't really react, I think it'd be wise for you. What I find as a psychic out there dating, or dealing in general, is 99.9% of what I know I hold back. I've found my own personal balance with each individual I deal with to myself in a comfort zone, and to keep the energy between us at the best, like most positive and functioning level. I do think what you're going to get from him, though, how you say it, or even how many times you say it, is an interest. This person has fallen down a rabbit hole. This person loves something new. This person is an intellectual. This person loves something dynamic, and passionate. And I think on that level, it will always be curious and fun. Okay, so go for it. you know, tentatively. All right, we have another question coming in here from, let's see who's next. Oh, you know what? I forget to ask you guys this every single week. Doing these shows for what, 10 years, 13 years? Could everybody please give this video up, drop a comment of any kind? It helps me out in the algorithm, and subscribe. Much appreciated. All right, we have one coming in here from a Dalen Marley. It's a $10 question. Yes, I have to count on my finger. Linda Melendez, Sagittarius. Okay. Oh, this is for Linda Melendez. Okay. You guys don't have to put the zodiac signs, even if it says that up in the description. That's a description of a different show that I do with our astrologer, so don't worry about it. Linda Melendez is Brian Odie, a Scorpio. What can you tell me about our relationship? All right, should we get together? Is there more work to be done? So, sure, getting together with Brian. Is there more work to be done? Okay, about the relationship. You know, it feels very I want to say this about Brian. His energy seems to be overwhelming, like an outpouring of emotion. He almost looked like a Cancer. Now, he may have Cancer somewhere else in his chart. I see that he's a Scorpio, so it's still a sign, all right? But sometimes what water signs can do is hold, and then they sort of explode. It's volcanic, you know? And while I see this out of emotion coming from him sometimes, I would not necessarily equate that to pathetic. A lot of people who are a water sign have a tendency to be very sensitive. Yeah, but you're only sensitive to yourself. You're not sensitive to other people. You know, it doesn't make you aware in any capacity of, you know, human connection. It means you are sensitive to all types of different stimuli around you. That to me says a bit unevolved. And when someone has to be evolved empathetically, be sensitive, not self, know themselves well, but also get to learn others well, you know, when there's a lot of potential and it isn't going in that direction. So this is an individual who is sometimes wide open in sharing with his feelings, but then necessarily transfer over to the partner as being considerate of the partners, or seeing the sharing of that information as an opportunity to do work, okay, make a group effort out of communication, or you know, this is who struggles to self-regulate. So this is someone who would do well with some therapy, okay, or a period in therapy even. I can't prescribe a diagnosis, of course, but feel that this relationship dynamic brings the two people in order to show what it is that we want, where our standard, what it is that we have to have, and where the deal breakers are. Because dealing with someone at a period of time when your needs are not met and the other person never gets more into you, they never really grow and evolve as an individual, therefore they never grow and evolve into someone who can in tuned to you, you know, they don't ever have a whole lot more to give. It can be a huge lesson in boundaries, in, you know, being more cutthroat, saying enough is enough and this is what I have to have, and not, you know, treading your time anymore. My feeling, you know, with this relationship, it's sort of like a hamster on a wheel, just not really going anywhere. And this would be because of the lack of coming from Brian. Okay, so, all right, let's move on. Another one we have coming in here from, thank you, from a Jill N. This is a $1 question. And her question, I've been with my partner for almost 12 years. And the past few years, things rough between us. Will things get better? But I don't have a name. You guys, please include the first name of the person too. Even if you want to do a pseudonym, that's fine. Put the energy in to the pseudonym. So 12 years with this partner, the past few years have been rough. Well, I don't have any reason to believe, when I look over here to the future, the first, okay, is that I'm looking dead ahead to a free will zone. Over here would be destiny charted. So if spirit had led me this way, yeah, you know, maybe there's definitely some unfinished business. There's a contract. There's some work to do together. There's more. It's destined that there's more. I get nothing. I get everything into the free will zone, which means you have basically, even for the last years, just chosen to stay. It's all free will. There is not a contract. Whether this be like, you know, karmic or soulmate or contract together, there just isn't anything there. So this has been a choice in making, even though you've seen the patterns of failure, mostly based on comfort. You've chosen to stay because it allows you, whether it be financially or mentally, to sort of buy time. I almost feel like you're waiting it out. Almost like, reminds me of this blizzard, like waiting it out. You know, five days in, you're like, how much longer until I can just go outside? And then eventually you just are like, okay, I'm gonna just push the door open. I'm just gonna go. I don't care how bad it is out there. I can't stay in here anymore. And so I almost get the sense you were just like at that breaking point. You are asking a question saying patterns of failure for over a decade. Will it change? No, because patterns, okay, it would have been changed by now if it was going to. All right, we have an coming in here from Bennett. And this is a $10 question. Okay. And her question is, when do you see someone entering that I could marry and have children with? What is he like? Okay, so let's talk up 37 or 47. All right, what is this person like? When will this person come in for Nicole? This is a really important year for you to 2023 and 2020 was big dating years. 2024 more so. And that may be like moving from a friendship into an engagement, or shows the ring moving from like the middle finger, which is like the friend, over to the engagement finger. You know, we could be watching this thing grow. It grows slow. It's a slow grow, you know, for about 8 months. And then it seems to just skyrocket. So I'm almost under the impression this person is a little bit, okay, a little bit of a self-soother in the way that, you know, there may be some like overeating or protection. Some walls may be up. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. You know, I think that when this individual is ready through trial and error, right? Like make sure that you have proof this is someone who acts anal and is testing you all the time, right? And has nothing to deliver. It's more like being careful. I can respect this process in being mindful and careful, making sure that showing any major red flags that would be a deal breaker for this person. There's enough stimulation. You know, this person doesn't want to like sit on a couch for the next 50 years. That you would be willing to get up, whether it's like going to a sports game, taking a little road trip, or going on some like historical, you know, little excursion out, even galleries and things. So there's a lot there. But this individual also seems tall. I feel bigger, like large, pretty quiet. There's a lot of sensitivity there. I get a lot of Pisces energy. But when I see this much Pisces energy somewhere in the chart, dreamer. This is someone who loves their sleep and is very into their intuition. Maybe a little hypersensitive to the world around them, right? Highly impacted, stimulated sometimes. Another good reason for this person to protect themselves. Comfortable. Anyways, long story short, that's where I see that going. And or this is who I see coming in as being the most valuable player. Now, this isn't the only coming in for you. And so whenever your relationship guide brings some oddly specific, okay, like all of this up, it's important you give this one the time and attention that it deserves. It could very well go on by, be overlooked. In your case, I think at some point you could be talking to 5 different people, not necessarily full on dating 5 different people, definitely talking to about 5. And I think that one of the other things I'm supposed to point out with this individual, they show them in a plaid shirt. And whenever I see somebody in a plaid shirt, this type of plaid shirt, it means 2 different things. This is someone who's smart with finances. This could be a business owner. This would be someone high up. If they are working under a boss, working for this person knows accounting, finances, how to invest money, where to pull investments out of, and is also incredibly down to earth, love of nature. And I think that's something that you both share. It has all of building. And yeah, I think if you want to have children with this person, I could see you doing definitely in the cards. Enjoy, get on the dating sites and stay. Don't rush things through 2023. It's you time. Okay, for a little while. Carrie has a $10 question too. And let's see, it is, I have always felt Eugene and I would be back in this life. It has been years, but the feeling remains. Is this a life thing, or will we end up together? So Carrie and you, will they end up together? And is it a past life thing? It is a thing, and it's not just one. So I see at least 6 here. 6 at one point, this being your older sibling at one point. Looks like you would have served together. So it looks like there was a war and you would have been in the same like army. You would have been sold fighting side by side. I see a marriage and it looks like you would have been the wife. He would have been the husband. He took very good care of his health. One of the things I'm noticing a theme here, taking care of him, like even, which I don't really understand, especially when it was the sibling thing, so much younger. I mean, we're talking like 8 years younger. You know, why are you taking care of him? There is Eugene needs to do some self-care, and not just on like, you know, mental and emotional stuff, but physical, actual self-care. Eating healthy. Did you stop smoking? Are you still drinking? Like, are you using, what are you doing? He also, one of the things that goes on with him is like, he know how to reduce stress. So people who light up, smoked for so many years, it's so gross. But like, I understand like just lighting up, quit smoking, you just move on to something else. You know, we can't just jump to poison as a remedy for stress. We have to eventually learn how to process and to become more balanced. I would say this is the core of a lot of issues that sometimes it leads to keeping you two apart because he's in other areas in his life that he sees may cause him more stress, right? A great example is like maybe a breakup. You know, well, I need to stop this person. Yeah, but it's easier just to keep dealing with this person. Is it though? You know, he may choose more stressful behaviors in his life and unhealthy connection due to the fact that he's avoidant, if that makes some sense. All right. So your role and some of the reasons you guys come to, not the only, some of the reasons you guys come together is for you to repeatedly display to this individual how to regulate, how to find that inner peace, how to oneself as a resource instead of always looking outward. Okay. And to get comfort. I think you have a great way of helping him to process. I also think you have to be careful point where you are no longer that caretaker over him. And only then will we see this, and we'll see what the potential is in this life, because there is definitely some. I mean, I like it a lot. That issue is preventing it. Okay, so we'll see. All right, we have another one coming from a Camille who got a $10. Okay. I do just want to announce to everyone, if you're tuning in late, please give this video a comment, subscribe, all kinds of new perks if you want to hit that join button to become a member here on YouTube at Ask Ivy. And we are taking your love and relationship questions tonight. The short answer, $10, is the long answer. All right, Camille wants to know, is it best interest to get back with Danelle? I don't think so. And so Danelle has a way of showing up to be available for you to sort of take him back. I would hardly say that this is effort. And you seem to have a bit of an open door policy that really should have been closed off a long time ago. Now, talk of 2 years of back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. You haven't reached that point yet. You could, which means that this thing doesn't end unless you choose to make it end. This is a person who may fish, sort of breadcrumb you, or may throw out a line and kind of get you to come to him, reel you in, and then not necessarily have anything to offer after that. It's like that was the whole point. That is the whole story. Is fish. There's, I almost see you as like a caught and then either like hooked and damaged and thrown back in to suffer, or just without water to sort of perish and not even get like fried up for a delicious dinner. When are you going to receive from this person really a value to you? So it looks like what you're trying to do right now, what you're hiring to do, is reprioritize. And this has nothing to do with him. It's about you what in your life has been like missing, and how you want to maybe put like career and finances and how your energy's been expended. Like you've been giving out a lot. Okay. Situation. You're invested in a lot. And you have to start recouping some of that energy. One way to do it significantly, cut off people like this, because you are like a light. It's like a moth trap. One of these radiating like moth lights. It just like attracts them, and they're all getting from you. So start, by stopping bleeding, let's say, okay, of your energy. And the other I was really feeling is that if you could clear this person out of your energy field, and again, it's like gum on the bottom of your shoe, he's always just sort of there, like just in arm's reach, because like I said, he's not going to go anywhere. He's not going to. If he has a shot of you letting him back in, that's exactly where he's going to be. And that does not equate to value. It's like if you could clear this person out of your energy field, and this is falling in your free zone, and over here to the next, I want to say 6 to 7 months, you could sort of reconfigure into a higher level of manifestation. If you were to write down things that you are claiming back to you in a love partner, I think that could be you anywhere from the 4th month to the 7th month. And that's really going to come through, okay, is if you can manage this. Right now, if you tell the universe, these are the things I am claiming to me in a partner, but you keep giving your thought to this person, your energy over to Danelle, your time, you take him back in, you've negated the whole thing. You've told the universe, I don't actually deserve that. I don't even want that. Okay. And I think you have to working beyond your emotions into more of your intuition and honor intuition more. Okay. Because it's pretty loud and clear. All right. We are going to move on to another one from a Susanna Cruz, who got a $5 question. She says, I've been with Jose for 4 years. Is going to continue, or do I need to let him go? I feel we have no growth. You do not have. There was something that almost looked like growth in the first year, 6th and the 7th month, And even that wasn't growth. It is growth because you said something to him that was like, you need to grow. We need to be like, somehow conjured up this facade of what looked like a function in the relationship where you guys actually worked through some stuff. That was perfect. There is no growth because he's not interested in hearing anything. The person who works from a place of ego, which is fear, manipulation, and control, and comes from a low level. If he can control everyone and circumstances around himself, he doesn't ever go inside and do the work. There's going to be a hard series of circumstances. I like to call them opportunities that the universe deliver to him for approximately, looks like 4 or 5 years. And the first 2 years is going to be fairly intense. And if I were you, I would not be along for that ride. Okay. So sometimes we have because we are, I'm hearing placating, I'm hearing pity, I'm hearing, maybe with you, sometimes it's laziness too. You can't just him all the time. You know, you're not growing either. And you're well aware that you haven't been able to in this, you choosing growth. There is no other point to life than growth. I mean, that's literally, you have to compromise that. That's an automatic deal breaker in any circumstance. But you could receive the karmic kickback from his poor choices and accumulation of low here in a minute if you don't evolve and move beyond this. So I would be careful for a couple of months. Okay. All right. We have another one coming in here from a Chimera. $5 question. And this is, feel as though I've missed my opportunity to meet the soul. I made a pre-birth plan to meet someone that will align in 2023. Well, the truth of the matter is 5 to 6 different soulmate options over the course of our entire life. We also have soul tribe. And then, you have a bunch of karmic people that you may romantically, but these are all pretty dynamic. So there isn't one person that you made a birth plan with. That doesn't exist. There's no such thing as that is a 100% myth. What we do see patterns of in astrology, numerology, psychic mediumship, right? What we do see patterns of are these intense our soulmate connections. In your case, we're talking about, and that you're going to have an opportunity, not necessarily in 2020, but in approximately 3 years, to an individual that you can seriously build with, that you can take, that takes you seriously. And I would be mindful as over the next few years to weed out who is silly. There's this talk of almost like clown energy. If you've ever talked to anybody and they're just goofy, they don't really know themselves really very deep. They're not capable. They don't know how to offer anything to anyone because they themselves are very shallow. I feel like you're going to be spotting these really fast. The cleansing process you need to be focused on for a little while. All right, we're coming in here from an MS $10 question. Okay. And she says, I feel like there is something I need to hear in regards to my current relation. Something that is needed to push me forward, but for the life of me, I can't put any insight is appreciated. Thank you. What I feel for you is that you have enough focus and attention on what it is that you want or need in regards to a companion to help you to achieve your goals. And so if you have all kinds of ideas about things that you want to do in the future with like your career, want to live, or different activities involved in with travel or your health or whatever it is. A lot of it is personal. So it's sort of like day-to-day stuff. Maybe say you want to be able to work out, you know, in a certain way at a certain time, you know, every single day. And you're like, this is the new lifestyle I want. But some of it, again, is career. It is financial. It's residential. I think if you would have put her into making sure that this individual is helping your growth and development in those areas, not to do it for you, but to support you in it instead of siphoning your energy and draining you and being a block and getting in your way, a drag, and you only supporting this individual and what they want. I mean, if you would have focused more there, you would have quickly realized that, you know, the universe is giving you, you know, an opportunity here to relate of this relationship and to those boundaries and to say, is this a burden or is this an opportunity in this relationship for me to accomplish or to accomplish? And I also think that you have a way of slapping your own hand. Like, I shouldn't ask for that. I should be happy with what I have. Relationships are about compromise. And it may be a generational burden that you've taken on, toxic programming, you know, that you've taken on where you, for some reason, see sacrificial lamb. It's almost like you become like a victim or a martyr to the situation. So I would look at that deeper root issue. But ultimately, if to be looking for the way you said it, I can't put my finger on what it is. I'm supposed to be looking at what is the push forward. The push forward is you pushing yourself, and it is yourself to accomplish these things, possibly in spite of, you know, this person, that information, to help you determine whether, again, you know, he's to you or he's a gigantic block. All right, we have another in here from you're very welcome. Sorry guys, I'm missing the feed here. Susanna, you're welcome. Hi Mara, absolutely. Thank you for your questions. We have one here from a G. Again, if you guys are tuning in late, I'm Ivy Rivera, Psychic Medium. This is Get a Grip on Your Relationships. You guys can post your $5 short question, $10 answer about a love partner or any type of relationship in your life, and I will give you some insight to that. From a JP, $10 question. To know, or he wants to know, is there a potential relationship with Gregory? Okay, Gregory. I think that there can be something here with this person. This individual seems to love her. And I know there's a lot of, I can't think of it, but I know there's a lot of annoyance going on out there in the world with people who just want to talk for extended periods of time, right? And move the relationship along to something else. But I think that if you can work with that and you would be willing to just sort of, I don't want to say endlessly talk, but, you know, sometimes what else is there? And is that not enough? With some people, you know, that it's just conversing. I think that it can be a point where you guys are able to move it from a place of communication, long talks, deep talks, long hours, a lot of humor. It's interesting. I think it's even like sexually playful. I think that it into something more romantic. But again, you may feel like at that point it is sexual, not necessarily feeling like a relationship. It could be in a couple key areas. This is not, I also feel like part of the individual is really good at long-term communication, just talking, is because there isn't a ton to offer outside of that. And so it is flag depending on what you're looking for. What I think you're looking for is not necessarily this. I think that you would be interested in settling for the romantically as far as a committed relationship is concerned, because he's never really, he's never really leaving his comfort zone. Conversation is about reach out because the wells don't run that deep. Okay, with this one. And I for is more someone to like travel with, someone to build, someone to express ideas with and watch them grow. And because this person is based on that type of growth, but more like a comfort zone, it will eventually do as a wall. And I would also wonder a little bit, even though the dynamics here for a short period of time, like probably not much beyond 3 months. But I would sometimes, with people like that, what is behind that wall? Why is that there? Why is that there at all? You may not like what you see. Okay. But for a while, I would say have fun with it. Conversation, and this is for everybody tuning in who's like, oh, people just, is that the worst thing to build a friendship? Is it the worst thing? I think that it's a place of healing that a lot of us are right now. And so try to appreciate each individual that you're dealing with and the conversation on there, because remember, humans are the mouthpiece for God. Okay. So whether they're teaching you something, they're showing something that you need to learn for your own growth, or helping you to expand your mind in some other way. We don't want to be like, this is irrelevant because it's not what I want. Well, maybe you need it. Maybe you don't want it. Maybe you need it. Interesting dynamics, but short term, I would say for you. We have one, Jill H. This is a $10 question. Jill wants to know, should I pursue strengthening my relationship with my Aunt Maria or no? I feel automatically like only because there's a lot of like surrounding drama, toxicity. There's a lot of chatter, and I think that outsiders could make it more of a hassle than it may be worth. And what I mean by that, interactions with your Aunt Maria may end heavier for you than they need to. If you are at a point with people in the family where setting some boundaries, maybe there are some problems that have proven repeated to be unhealthy for you to engage in, this may be a really good time to just decide that it isn't time for you to do any kind of relationship building with anybody. And I think that a lot of times when we come from some that have significant problems that are toxic, for us or confuse us, we could and should spend a significant of time alone, right? Detaching, setting boundaries, or even going no contact with everybody. And we don't need to apologize for that. I think that if you reach a point where you feel the relationship is really called for it, then you could always, check that out. But at this point, I don't know that her higher mind is calling for it. And I don't know that your higher mind is calling for it. And make me wonder if this is more of coming from a place which is fear, manipulation, or control, or desire, coming from a place of emotion, a desire to hold on to something that just held on to, or to create more out of something where there just really isn't a whole heck of a lot. I think, on the other hand, that when we look at your aunt, there is a sense of wisdom there. There is a sense of a personality, a character developed, and she may have a lot to teach. Necessarily that it has to come through verbal communication with her, but if you just watch, she's lived a fairly great example, over her life, choices that she's made, while sometimes she has over sacrificed. Those are lessons too. And to see her break out of some cycles and systems it's more about you examining her life and her character as a whole than it is trying to build up some kind of a relationship. Sometimes with people, and again, this is for everyone, you know, we often see, and even it, like psychologists have said, or psychiatrists have said, that when they're with someone process, they're talking about relationships they had way back in like elementary school. So what we do is we repeatedly learn relationships, sometimes without ever having a ton of contact with that person. This is lifelong. So look at the real issue for this. You know, there's more there, for example. But, you know, I think that you have to gauge you have to gauge what is within your comfort zone. And the second it starts to be toxic, you need to just not be judgmental of yourself if you choose to take from all of that. Okay. I will say this. I mean, I grew up in a toxic household, if you can even call it that. And, you know, I was told to leave when I was old. That was the first time my mother made it clear to me that she didn't want me in the house anymore. And when I went no contact with my family, I was very young. And I can tell you now at 43, those were the best choices I ever made, because even though people in the family, I could not be taken down with that ship. Okay. So I am here capable of what I'm capable of doing because I knew when to leave the party, and that's okay. All right. We have another question coming in here from Yolanda, $10. Okay. She asks, why would I believe to be unnecessary animosity about a relationship that has from others? My ex and I have moved on. So what is the problem? I think that some of what you're feeling is, you know, I almost feel like alienation. So this is weird that this is coming up. I'll put this together for you. Okay. But when we talk about alienation, or we talk about triangulation, gossip, we talk about certain people who get together to talk, to create discord and distance between people. I feel like you're in a general alienation attack. Okay. I guess in narcissistic attacks, they would call this pain or something, you know. Anyways, it's this basic idea that you have done what you have moved on, and people keep bringing up. It's also possible that people connected to the right are getting this more from that side. So while you just want to keep moving forward, train is going full steam ahead, you know, and you may not even remember this guy's name in a year. Other people don't feel the same. I think that you have a lot stemming from the fact that these people don't want to move on. And so I've decided, in an almost cult-like mentality and group effort. And what are cults based on? They're based on fear, control, you know. So it's dynamic. It requires everyone in the cult to subscribe to the same narrative of dysfunction, of course. And that right now is that you're problematic, right? And so they're trying to, which is keep a connection to each other, keep a connection to the past that's never going to happen, that doesn't exist in universal law, that will fail. And the only way they found to do this is by talking all of this trash, this triangulation, these attempts at alienation, which is ironic because of what they want. But that's what it's going to create. That's ultimately what comes from it. There's not a whole lot of thought process going on here. I feel like I'm looking at a herd of sheep. Birds, I don't know, a gaggle of sheep here. It's like I'm looking at a bunch of sheep who don't know how to think for them. And they aren't really capable at this point. They're choosing, okay, if they're choosing, they are capable. They're choosing not to look at what the consequence of their actions are going to be. And that's where they're really going to get karma. And so what I would do if I were you is keep smiling, keep shining, shut those down, set healthy boundaries. Nope, you will not talk to me. about that. No, you will not with this nonsense. If that means less communication, so be it, but have ground rules. And right now there just aren't any. Okay. So like everybody's all over the place. Anybody's able to come at you with anything. And it's like, nope, absolutely not. Unacceptable. And if that's going to create a greater divide, let that fall on them. That's okay. The universe has a way of working things out. Okay. Stick to your guns. All right. Bethany, this is a $10 question. And Bethany wants to know, how do I navigate or end the relationship, Sarah? Whew. I feel like off like a Band-Aid, you know, but like I'm not gonna. So, you know, sometimes end something, it's sort of like I can just slip out, you know, we let this thing end on its own. And I think that may be I mean, quite frankly, I'm looking at your free will zone over here to the future, and it's out. So I would say that if this is something you were planning on doing now, in the last few weeks or months, I would say that it may be coming to a head if you don't do it months out from now. I think that what you could do is just sort of nothing. I don't love that option. When dealing with people, I think it's really important that you're clear on your position and like not respond after you've been clear, you know, then so be it. But you know, we don't want to be ghosting people. That's a sign of narcissistic personality disorder, actually. But I do think that you've said it. Okay, so here's the issue. If you've said it and nothing's changing, you kind of really don't owe else. You can just, you know, duck on out. We need to take responsibility for what is our responsibility in action with others, and that's it. Then we're good to go. All right. So there's no negative karmic kickback on like this. My feeling with it originally was like a little uncomfortable, and the ouch factor was more on your end. I think emotionally and mentally, you're actually more tied into this person than you might realize. And I think that pull that Band-Aid off with someone else, even though we're like, thank God that's gone or whatever, I think it's going to feel different, be different. And then you realize you're actually thinking about it than you had planned, or it's coming up in your dreams, you know, or you still feel they're pulling and tugging at you energetically, you know, and emotionally. I would just have your guard up. Predictable. So that's for everybody, you know, tuning in. If you ever have to, like, you know, go no contact, pull the Band-Aid off, just predict how that's going to feel after, and be more about how intense it may end up being. And I think that is very freeing for both of you. I think that this is a situation where there's a lot for her to learn from your exit she wouldn't learn otherwise. And so this may be a situation you're able to be a teacher through absence. And I think learning will be received, maybe not happily, maybe not, but eventually. And we need to honor every relationship that we're in and what is there with that person. And in this case, your leaving really best way to honor what lessons and growth and opportunities to come, okay, to her through that. As far as you're concerned, it's just okay. All right. So I think if you were to, another option here, you know, is for you to speak your mind one last time and just sort of leave it at that. I keep seeing you not answering the phone. Okay. So attempt for her to reach out after that. It's basically like ignoring. All right. We have another one coming in here from a Christ, $10 question. And so that's going to 35. All right. Christ wants to know, is it with Kirk? Well, I think so. I think that this wasn't situation the last few years. The last 2 years has shown that there's a certain level of neglect, even like and a lot of denial about it. I mean, just a lot of like, it's okay. No, everything's not okay. And I think that when someone is holding you responsible, someone's blaming you and your fault, okay, or it's not all your fault. I think that it's a really toxic energy that can actually build up even in the living space as a problem. So that would be the equivalent of fighting. Okay, so level of sort of animosity and blame. It's becoming even like really vindictive. And, you know, I think that the bottom line is this, you know, when a relationship is over, we have to leave or it sours. And as it sours, okay, that is going to be unfortunate for everyone involved. It's really going to take a toll on your prosperity. And that the last maybe even 5 years or so, like your prosperity has either been dwindling or it you know, in some areas, I feel like it may have taken a nosedive. And this could also be in shared resource, or anything you share with this person is now like a liability, or, you know, it ends up taking a toll on you in a bunch of ways you can't understand. So even where there was once shared prosperity, you start to watch it die down. And I would worry that other areas of prosperity in your life, whether it be, you know, other relationships, your own health, I can't prescribe a diagnosis, as well as your mental and emotional well-being, sort of go tick, 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 tick downward. Okay. What's the one remaining factor? Okay. If you try to change a bunch of things, this part of marriage. And I think that while you have your answers, this isn't necessarily the answer. Actually, that's not true. Like, your higher mind definitely wants this answer. I feel like you already know the answer. Listen to it. So I'm not sure what the questioning is. You have to get over your fear of change. That's it. You have to get over your fear of change. You do this with everything. Okay. It's okay to change. I would take some pleasure, gamble of a new experience, and watching to see how the universe has your back and how they are. Okay. I'd wing it. Okay. We have another question. We are at time. So I do want to invite you guys to check out my next show next Wednesday, Ask Ivy. I will be your personal questions and delivering out messages from Spirit back here on all platforms at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. If you guys need to book a reading, including a relationship reading with me in the meantime, including past life readings, Ivy Rivera, psychicmedium.com to get that done. I will see you guys. Stay safe. Mary, thank you so much. Thanks everyone who tuned in. Thank you, Spirit. Have a good night.